When I was younger, the most important thing in the world to me was video games. And the most important video game to me back then was Pokemon. And not just the games. There was, of course, the card game, but then there was the Pokemon manga. Pokemon Adventures, written by Hidenori Kusaka, was the first manga I ever read. I started with the Diamond and Pearl arc, and I read the series between 2011 and 2014. I've never read it since then. So, I've decided to read the Pokemon Adventure series for the first time in over 5 years. I used to own volumes 1 through 21, but I gave them to my little cousin. I'm borrowing them from him right now. Now, without further ado, let's read some manga. All the memories are coming back to me. So apparently Blue was studying overseas before the series began. Also, they call Mew the Phantom Pokemon, which I guess makes sense because it's an event Pokemon. So I guess that the manga was written after that the whole concept of Mew was discovered. I guess. I don't know. Can Charmander shoot fireballs out of its tail? I guess there's swearing in the Pokemon world. Like in the manga, I guess there's swearing. But of course they have to censor it. Because kids. We've got another instance of swearing in the Pokemon world. Cracking a Cubone's bone in half. Is that part of the Pokemon's body? Or, well, I guess if you subscribe to the theory that that Cubone has Kangaskhan's skull on, I guess no. You know the whole Pikachu aim for the horn thing with Blaine's gym and Giovanni's gym, I think, in the anime? Well, here, Pikachu beat an Onix with electricity. So, the manga is technically no better than the anime in this instance, I guess. There's reference to Mickey Mouse in here referring to Pikachu. It's probably only for the English translation, though. Another instance of swearing in the Pokemon world, I think. In my headcanon, Bill is Southern because of all the slang he uses. He uses a lot of slang. He says dang a lot. I just realized something. So, it says Lieutenant Surge uses the SSN to transport supplies to Cinnabar Island. And he works for Team Rocket. And Blaine used to work for Team Rocket. Blaine's at Cinnabar Island. Did he use that to transport Mewtwo? Maybe. And also in my headcanon, Lieutenant Surge sounds like Solid Snake. Like an evil Solid Snake. But not Solid Snake or Liquid Snake. Just same voice, though. But yeah. And Red's even sneaking around and avoiding Magnemites, which uses security cameras. Like this page is straight out of Metal Gear Solid. It's like Metal Gear Solid meets Pokemon. Another instance of swearing in the Pokemon world. Okay, this panel from the manga scared me as a kid. The skeleton of a Psyduck with the teeth and lack of eyes. It's weird. Oh, I completely forgot about this. What shows what's in the next volume? Completely forgot about that. Oh yeah, and then there's the map. I forgot about the map also. Oh, so green is in the first chapter of volume 2? I forgot about that. So they're still making Mewtwo in volume 2. I forgot how annoying green was early on. So Blue went to the Rocket Game Corner. Cool, I forgot about that. That's how we got the Porygon. Oh yeah, so Blue and Red switched Pokemon at some point. At this, I forgot about that. Oh yeah, then Erica wants Red to capture an Eevee. I forgot all about Volume 2, like everything happens in Volume 2. Oh yeah, and then Eevee can turn to Vaporeon, Flareon, and Jolteon at will. Okay, the Safari Zone logo is basically Jurassic Park. Pidgey robots at the Safari Zone? I don't remember much from this volume. Do they not allow you to bring your Pokemon with you in the Safari Zone in the manga? Because if that's the case, it's really dumb. Oh yeah, so Giovanni shows up in Pewter City outside Rock Tunnel. Forgot about that too. And then Giovanni gives Red the old amber, which has Aerodactyl in it. It's all coming together now. Man, Volume 3 is going to be great. Oh yeah, and then Articuno shows up into Seafoam Islands. Team Rocket's looking for him. Forgot about this too. Oh yeah, and then Blaine revives Aerodactyl. I remember now. Oh, that Aerodactyl looks like it's something out of Jurassic Park again. I remember Volume 3 was so epic. The half the volume was fighting Team Rocket in Saffron City, and then Giovanni, Elite Four, all that. Sorry, not Elite Four, but like the championship battle against Blue. That was like the original Avengers, but Pokemon, like as far as hype goes. Oh, the evil Professor Oak. There's a Pokemon card about that, I think. And at the end of each volume, it also tells you how the protagonist of the arc is doing with their Pokemon. Alright, this is it, guys. The last part of the Red Chapter, Volume 3. Like I've said before, it's epic. Or at least at the time I thought it was. And then there's a Mr. Mime doing a projection over Saffron City. And Green does a fourth wall break. She says, "What do you think this is, a video game?" Blue fights Koga. If I recall, Red fights Lieutenant Surge. And Green fights Sabrina. And if I recall correctly, Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno joined together to make Zapmoltuno. And yes, it is what they're really called. So that's what it's really called. Lieutenant Surge is back. And he has a Pokemon bazooka that shoots electrodes. Cool. Zapdos has alligator clipped onto it. And Red gets his fingerless gloves from Lieutenant Surge. Oh yeah, and then Brock, Misty, and Erica start joining the fight in Saffron City. This is what I mean when I said that it's kind of like the Avengers in a weird way. Because they've got a bunch of characters from different places that are all... Okay, it's a bad comparison, but still. Oh yeah, Red catches Mewtwo in this. Blaine's arm looks so cool. Because he used his own DNA to make Mewtwo. So now Mewtwo is attached to his arm. Sort of. Like, spiritually attached to his arm. Oh, and then Mewtwo makes a spoon out of thin air and he hits stuff with his spoon. It's weird but cool. I know he uses the spoon in later story arcs, like Fire Red Leaf Green. Can't wait to read that. I've never read that part of the story, like ever. Oh yeah, and then Yellow shows up in the Viridian Forest, but we don't know her. We don't know her as Yellow yet. This third volume really was like the ultimate showdown for the series. Until volume 14, at least. 14 was awesome. And then, Fire, Leaf, Green, and Emerald, I've heard, are almost, if not as good. Oh, and then Pikachu defeats another ground type. Professor Oak. Professor Oak's fights Green, and I call him Dr. O. Very different from Professor Oak, yeah, totally different. They imply that Professor Oak used to be a champion, and he fought Agatha. Red versus Blue. Not a Machinima. Maybe made by Rooster Teeth. And the Elite Four appear for a few panels. I'd say it's not just nostalgia about how good this series is, especially the Red story arc. Okay, so the beginning of the Yellow chapter, Volume 4. So in this story arc, the Elite Four are the villains. The Yellow chapter is set 2 years after the Red chapter. So Bruno sends a letter to Red, challenging him to a battle. Oh yeah, Yellow likes to draw things. So Red gets defeated by Bruno in a battle. Yellow uses a fishing rod to catch Pokemon. So for whatever reason, the Elite Four want to capture Red's Pikachu, but I don't remember why. So they kill all the Pokemon that belong to trainers that beat them or something, which Red did, I guess. I don't remember much from this arc. And a super nerd disguises himself as Red. I do remember that. And Blaine shows up, and he has a Rapidash phone. And Blue shows up. I thought he showed up in Volume 6, not Volume 4. So, while Red was battling Giovanni, Blue was battling Agatha, I think. Yep, it's Agatha. They're at the power plant. That's where the battle is. I'm remembering this now. And Agatha's Gengar puts Blue in a coffin. That's cool. Kind of dark, but cool. And it uses Dream Meter on him. Volume 5. And Yellow starts crying when Rattata evolves. So in the manga, Porygon can transfer from Pokedex to Pokedex. Oh, that's cool. And Green's back. Oh! This is the part where Lance attacks Vermilion Harbor. Oh, there's a reference to the Surfing Pikachu. Lance destroys part of Vermilion City. So the Elite Four want to kill all of humanity except for themselves. Kind of like Team Plasma, honestly, a little. And they use a substitute to use as a surfboard, which honestly sounds kind of weird. So Red got frozen, but he unfroze. Oh yeah, Blaine brings Mewtwo along to the island where the Elite Four are. Oh, Blue shows up? Again, I mean. Volume 6. So the Elite Four are attacking Pewter City, Celadon City, and Cerulean City. Oh, so the Elite Four they're all about environmentalism, but they go about the wrong way, of course, by wanting to kill everyone. So Koga's Golbat bites Koga and spits his blood out onto an Arbok. I thought the decapitated Arbok was cool, edgy, that type of stuff. Okay, it's official. Oak beat Agatha years ago with a Kangaskhan. The battle between Oak and Agatha took 8 hours. Wow. Okay, Red's back. And it turns out that Yellow's a girl. Okay, so that's Volume 6. On to Volume 7. Okay, Volume 7. The last one in the Yellow arc. Lance shows up, and Blaine fights him with Mewtwo. And Mewtwo brings out his spoon. Lance and Yellow are fighting on top of a volcano. There's a flashback to when Green met Yellow. Red fights Bruno again. We've got a Hitmonchan that can use Fire Punch, Ice Punch, or Thunder Punch against an Eevee that can change into Jolteon, Flareon, or Vaporeon. Giovanni shows up. Nice. And he's from the Viridian Forest, just like Lance and Yellow. Oh, and Lugia shows up. Or, well, it turns out to be Lugia later. Because it's shaped like Lugia. Come to think of it, the Yellow Arc and Pokemon in the movie 2000 are kind of similar in a weird way. The villains both want to summon Lugia, and they both look kind of similar. And all of Yellow's Pokemon reach their final evolutions. Metapod becomes a Butterfree. Red, Blue, and Green all meet up, and they use their starters against Lugia, combined with Pikachu. Megavolt, is that even a move? I'm pretty sure Megavolt isn't a real move, but they say it's 10 times as powerful as the Thunderbolt, so maybe it's referring to Thunder. Red is reunited with his Pikachu. Oh, and there's a cliffhanger. Green's talking with Silver. Well, that was Volume 7, which combined is the red, blue, and yellow arc. On to the gold and silver arc. Now it's time for the gold and silver arc, or as I like to call it, Johto's Bizarre Adventure. I call it this because Pokemon are basically like stands and it's set in the Johto region. Get it? So if the red arc was the Pokemon equivalent of the first Avengers movie, this would be Infinity War, but not Endgame. That would probably be a combination of Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Emerald. So let's read Volume 8. Oh yeah, youngster Joey's a character. Professor Oak shows up, gives Gold a Pokedex. Gold and Silver fight at Sprout Tower, just like the game. So Falconer is a cop, apparently, instead of a gym leader. Gold gets the Togepi egg. So a Ghastly possesses another person in Pokemon at the end of Volume 1 and Volume 8. And the Masked Man shows up. Volume 9. Gold catches Sudowoodo. And the Togepi egg hatches. Team Rocket shows up in Ekrontique City. Gold and Silver battle. Oh crap. Silver has a Tyranitar? So Team Rocket wants to summon Ho-Oh. There's a Gyarados outbreak. Just like in the game. Well, not just like in the game, but like a Rage, Gyarados, yeah. Looks like Silver and Green escaped from the Masked Man as kids, like when they were younger. I mean, I remembered that, but... And I also remember that the Masked Man is Price. Oh, Red's trying to be the Viridian gym leader. Oh, so Red evolved his Eevee into an Espeon. And then Blue wants to be the gym leader, which of course, if you played the games, you know he does. And Red goes off to Mount Silver to heal his wounds from the Yellow chapter. And Yellow heads off to Johto. Okay, so that was Volume 9. Now we have Volume 10. Some people consider this the beginning of the Crystal arc. I just call it Gold and Silver. So Professor Oak gives Crystal the Pokedex after saving him from some Slugma. So Crystal calls Chikorita Megary, not knowing that its final form is Meganium. The writers did that on purpose, I'm sure. The reason that you have to catch all the Pokemon, even the Kanto ones, in Gold and Silver apparently is because, according to this, you have to catch Johto versions of Pokemon that Professor Oak already has data from. That's one way to explain it. Lieutenant Surge shows up. He's in charge of the SS Aqua, I think. So we can start fighting with a bunch of gym leaders. And Yucine shows up. The Mask Device is using a Ditto to pretend to be Suicune. So that's Volume 10. Volume 11. So the Masked Man is in charge of Team Rocket. So we can fight some more gym leaders. Raikou and Entei show up, and they fight gym leaders. Lieutenant Surge goes to the Team Rocket hideout, fights the Masked Man, and Lieutenant Surge finds a red Gyarados. Yellow runs into Crystal. Yellow woke the legendaries up. Oh, so Entei brought Gold and Silver to the Seafoam Islands. No, sorry, not Seafoam Islands. The Whirl Islands. Yeah. Crystal and Yellow are nearby. They'll probably run to each other in the next volume. So that was Volume 11. Okay, so Volume 12. So Some people are doing an interview at Price's gym in Mahogany Town. So Gold wakes up, and so does Silver at the Whirl Islands. Oh, and Lugia shows up at the Whirl Islands because of course it does. And it's lifting the SS Aqua. Oh, nice. Gold caught a Mantine. He's using the Remoraid attached to the Mantine as water guns to go against Lugia. Man's at the Whirl Islands too. And all the gym leaders are being gathered for a tournament, which, if I recall, Volume 13 is all about. Suicune fights some of the Kanto gym leaders. Oh, so the gym leaders are going against each other, which is in Volume 13. And Suicune chooses Misty as a partner. Wait, the Masked Man, he's gonna catch Ho-Oh? But I completely forgot about that. This is gonna be epic. All the gym leaders fighting against each other. And one of the gym leaders will be the Masked Man, which, of course, it's Price. But, spoilers. Anyway. So it's Volume 12. Volume 13. There's a flashback to when Red without Melt Silver, and he runs into Sabrina. More battles, which honestly don't further the plot too much, but Oh, so the Masked Man is trying to control time. Oh, Blue fights Silver. Chuck taught Blue before the Red arc is when he was trained. Yeah, and they reference that in the Yellow arc. Oh, so Blaine wants Entei to get rid of the diseased Mewtwo cells on his arm, and Mewtwo is free from Blaine. That's good. I think Mewtwo shows up in Fire Red Leaf Green again, and I think Emerald. I'm not sure. I haven't read it. And Green shows up, teleports Silver away. Team Rocket, they hijacked the League Stadium. The Masked Man is fighting Ho-Oh, but Price is at the League. So how does that work? The Magnet Train appears, full of Team Rocket members, and the Masked Man shows up with Ho-Oh and Lugia. And the Masked Man wants Kurt, the Apricorn Pokeball maker, to make the Pokeball that can capture time itself, or so he says. That's Volume 13. On to Volume 14. Well, this is it. The finale of the Gold and Silver arc, Volume 14. As a kid, this book was just so epic. The gym leaders are locked inside the Magnet Train fighting Team Rocket. Team Rocket is an acronym standing for Raid on the City, Knock Out Evil Tusks. Oh. Lieutenant Surge has Raikou. Blaine has Entei, and Misty has Suicune. Nice. So the Masked Man can summon ice to make his arms and legs bigger or smaller. And yeah, it's Price. He's the Masked Man. Green's at the Ilex Forest. Oh wow. Green brings out the legendary bird, Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno. Oh, Red brings out a Snorlax to stop the Magnet Train. Oh, Koga and Bruno show up. Cool. And then they're teaming up with Red and Blue. They meet up with Green, and they each go on a respective legendary bird. And Gold hatches a baby Pichu. Bill restarts the Pokemon transporter system, and thousands of Pokemon show up in Azalea Town, ready to fight Team Rocket and the Mask of Ice. Ho and Lugia are set free. All the Pokedex holders are against Price. Remember when I said how that this is kind of like Infinity War, but not Endgame? Yeah, well, that's because the villain wins. Kind of, in this case. Because he does, in fact, capture Celebi. Gold gets the Rainbow Wing and Silver Wing from Yellow's hat. And legendary dogs, along with the JoJo Pokedex holders. go into Price's past, and all he wanted was just to reunite a baby Lapras with his parents, both trained by Price. It's kind of a stupid reason, but you know. And Gold has Pichu use an attack called Super Rising Thunder, which is probably just Thunder on steroids, kind of like Megavolt in Volume 7. The camera cut out accidentally, so I'll summarize what happens after Pichu uses Super Rising Thunder on Price. Price is lost traveling through time, Gold gets out of the time warp, and Red offers to train Gold at Mount Silver. And that's the end of the Gold and Silver arc. Honestly, if the manga ended there, I'd be satisfied with that ending. But no, there's more. The Ruby and Sapphire arc.